So how are you, mate?
Good. How are you?
Tired. There was a conversation we were just having coming up the stairs. I just finished Supanova Sydney this weekend, and it's the coming weeks. So when I decided to start doing fundraising for London and all that sort of stuff, I had a 10-day holiday in Perth, which I love dearly, but it wasn't a holiday because we were running all around Western Australia doing stuff. I've had, I think it's 4, maybe 5 actual days off since.
You've been going hard.
Oh, dude, I'm tired, but I made it. Like, it's been a really, as you know, it's quite a challenging time at the moment. With
it is.
Money,
cost
and
of living,
and small business is the one that gets nailed. Like I was just saying, we had 2 cons cancel today just because of the cost of flights.
Yep.
Like, it's brutal. So, but that's the depressing stuff out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be a fun one. So
let's talk about the good stuff.
Yeah, Seany B did his first con ever.
Yeah,
at Sydney Supanova this weekend. I hooked him up with a couple of passes. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about cons from a newbie,
perspective,
from the newbie's perspective, and also from the well-seasoned veterans, and just look at cons and what they are and how they've evolved.
Yeah.
So, mate, tell me about it. You came down on Sunday.
That's right. We got there just before midday.
Yep.
We didn't spend the whole day.
Oh, you don't
there.
need to. If you
mean, we saw it all. We took it all in.
Yeah, yeah.
It was not too difficult to park. It was a good spot.
Yeah.
Venue was great. It was well organised.
Yeah.
We got in okay with your help and walked through. Everything was fun and interesting.
Yeah.
On the way in, and it was definitely cool to see your setup.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty wild, eh? Because
cool.
It's very much an intellectual concept for you because you've never really seen us out in the wild before.
Not that style, no. Remember, I've been to the open day, and I've obviously seen classes and attended the temple.
But this is the other side of the business. Yeah. So, as a nerd, like, talk me through what were the things that stuck with you most first about the con?
So, I have been an anime fan, but I'm not an anime nut.
Geek.
I'm not an anime geek. I like anime. I used to watch a few different ones when I was very young.
Yeah.
I'm older.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I was an Astro Boy.
Yeah, Astro Boy a little.
Star Blazers, Gatchaman.
Yeah.
Cities of Gold. I don't know if you remember that one. That was an old...
the Battleship...
What's it called? Star Blazers. Yeah, Battleship Yamato.
Yep.
Yeah.
Things like that. I mean, I liked it. I watched it. I'm not a huge, into it. I don't buy it. I don't... Yeah. But I definitely get it.
Yeah.
My wife can draw anime.
Oh, she's a big anime person.
And I love anime.
And she's and also it's interesting as well because she's Chinese.
That's right.
So it's not like it's a stereotypical Japanese girl.
No, that's exactly right. It's popular in Asia, and for many reasons. So I've always liked anime, and I like the JDM style, which is the Japanese domestic market. The term is JDM, which refers to the car world.
And that's very also anime influenced as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Because of the Initial D, that was a very popular cartoon that related drifting and car culture, subculture of car culture.
Fast and Furious 5 onwards type stuff.
That's it. But in the Japanese culture, it immortalized a particular model of Toyota car and other vehicles. A lot of other vehicles got immortalized in it. So it wasn't just sort of generic. It was very specific, product placement, if you like. And so that moved into a lot of culture across the globe.
World, yeah.
So that was good, and that's interesting, and it was definitely a lot of fun seeing the anime passion amongst fans.
So, for people that haven't done cons before, they sort of, this is what we're going to talk about today, back when I started doing cons. So this year, I think, was my 19th Sydney Supanova, and before that, I did Armageddon back in the day, which Big Bad Scotty Liston used to run. He is now the event manager for Supanova. And I used to do collectors fairs and stuff. But back when I started, it was very movie, TV, comic focused.
Yes.
That was the primary, and it's been really interesting. Been talking to a lot of people across a wide range. the funny thing with conventions like Supanova, I get the whole bird's eye view of the con because I know the guys that organise it. I know the guys that sell the tickets. I know the volunteers. I know the stall holders. So that when I sort of cruise around and chat to people, I get a really good sort of snapshot. And anime was the big thing that was coming out of all of it. And a lot of animes really starting to sell.
And that's one of the things about that as I guess as an art form, it is diverse.
Yes.
And when you get to franchises, it's and like, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of franchises in anime, of course, but the diversity is more settled into the art form.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way, it's one of those things with the corporatization.
Yes, we've talked about this very much so. It's actually interesting. I would have agreed with you up until this weekend, but I think it's also a changing of the guard.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Anime, like, don't get me wrong, like, as I said, we watched Astro Boy and stuff when we were kids.
That's right.
But anime as a serious art form, sort of, my generation were at the very beginning of that. There were people that took it up, but it wasn't known like that. And so, we're the guys that have been going to cons for 20 years, but I was talking to someone I know who sells tickets, and I was like, for the celeb meet and greets. And I who were the big ones? And they said, Temwaz, Temuera Morrison from Star Wars and stuff, obviously. And Alyssa Milano was there from Charmed and Who's the Boss, if you're that old. Also, the name of the ship in Guardians of the Galaxy, the Alyssa Milano, that's Star-Lord's ship. But they were saying voice actors are the big thing because they had Neil Fanning, who's the voice of Scooby-Doo in the live-action Joss Whedon one that had Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze and all that. And they had Jim Cummings, who, he's the voice of Winnie the Pooh, like the original Winnie the Pooh, but he's done more animation than I could ever describe. And so that's what I mean. Like, it's interesting because it's starting to move more in that animation and manga and anime
and I guess I guess it was a kind of a shock, but not a shock in a sense. I wanted to see more sci-fi.
Okay. Describe what you see when you're walking down an alleyway.
Well, definitely, there's a lot of people that are comfortably in their space. That's the best part.
Well, the cons are a safe space for nerds.
Absolutely.
And but costumes,
that was the point. Is literally it was 80% anime.
Yeah.
So there was some really good cosplay, and obviously I've got a selection bias. Like, I'm not necessarily able to identify anime costumes as much.
But you can absolutely tell what they are at a quick glance.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what anime is.
So I could easily identify, a lot of the costumes. Like, there were Halo guys, there was Warhammer.
Yep. There's some chainsaw head anime. I don't know what it is. A lot of people walking around with chainsaws sticking out of their heads.
Which is probably that.
I don't know what it's called.
There is a name for it. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
There was a movie. Remember, there was a famous shock Japanese movie. They used to have a whole genre for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But overall, that was interesting for me because I have a pretty strong selection bias, and I'm looking for Star Wars. There was some great Star Wars cosplay.
Oh, like the 501st.
Yeah,
absolutely. The 501st of the official Lucasfilm Star Wars costumers. They had a phenomenal... Did you go and see their display? They had life-size IG-88s and that big white hairy dude from Rogue One.
Yes,
and
he looked great.
Says in her Wookiee outfit.
Yeah.
My other one, I don't know if you saw us, Says, if you're listening, I love you, hello. She's been involved. She does amazing work with the 501st, and she dresses as a 7'2" Chewbacca on stilts.
It was amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
She had, do you remember the Bionic Woman? Like, you had the $6 Million Man and then you had the Bionic Woman. She was like the Bionic Woman fembot with a face off. So it's got hair and everything, and then it's got the flashing lights. Amazing.
Okay. She done that cosplay at another con?
She did it at Sydney. Let's just break because it's a really comfortable costume. You know what I mean? It's basically a velour tracksuit with a mask. Sorry, continue. The 501st display was phenomenal.
It was really cool.
Great turnout.
And of course, So that's my that was my eagle eyes looking for all the Star Wars, and there was a lot of Star Wars and a lot of other sci-fi.
Yep.
But yeah, again, it was a strong showing for anime.
Yeah.
And it was good for Eva to see that.
Yeah, because she's not in the scene, so she doesn't know how big the scene is. She's a stay-at-home fan, like she watches it and imbibes it, but isn't in the wider community. Yeah,
and she hasn't been strongly in it for some time too. Like we've been busy with life and family and the whole rest of it. But at the end of the day, it was a really good experience to see so many passionate fans go and support, their different interests. And there was a lot of very cool artwork.
Yeah, there's a lot of very talented people.
Very talented people.
It's like, funnily enough, another thing I was talking to Mike, who does all of our T-shirt art along.
Yes.
Like Shawnee's done Grogu Das and 2%.
Yeah, that was something that I went and showed off while I was there. That's why I thought I'd wear it tonight.
But like all of these ones, like the Tem one, all of our celeb ones are done by...
Yeah, Mike's great.
Yeah, oh God, where was I going? What were we saying before that?
So you spoke to Mike?
Spoke to Mike about the show. Oh, it's gone. Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired. It'll come to me.
It'll come back
to me. Celebs. Who'd you see? Who'd you meet?
Well, obviously met Matty Doran.
Yeah. So Matty Doran and did you end up meeting Michael King?
I didn't get to meet Michael, but I did watch the panel, and that was great.
Yeah, so Matty Doran is a good friend of the Suns.
Yes.
He tours around with us. We're off he's doing 2 Queensland cons with us this year and all the Novas. He was the death stick dealer in Star Wars, and he was Mouse in the Matrix. He'll be coming on soon. We had a chat to him. Also star of the latest budget direct ad, and we found, I'll have to show you the video.
Yeah.
Matt's first ever television appearance. I'm going to put it up on the panel at Brizzy in November.
Okay.
It's a Simpsons bread ad for Buttercup bread, and it's him with like a full Bart stick-up hairdo. It's gold. It's absolute gold. And Michael King.
Acting as a tall man? Because he's so tall.
No. This is Matty.
Oh, that
Doran.
was Matty.
Yeah,
oh, right. Okay,
this,
okay.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you meant Michael.
No,
so Matty done a Bart
Simpson. Yeah. I'll show you the photo. I'll put the photo up on the thing. Yeah, it's hilarious. And Michael King Ma was a professional basketballer, and in Eps 3 he was Tarful, the Wookiee general.
That's right.
And he also did all the mocap for all of the Wookiees and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was his first con he's done in a while, first one with us. Yeah, who else? Had a chat to Mr. Rats.
Yes, we had a chat to Mr. Rats. Yes. And, of course, Kevin Eastman was
yes,
there.
Yes.
Obviously, I didn't line up because it was a huge line and a long wait.
I was stoked. We met him in 2019 down in Melbourne and gave him a sabre, and we weren't doing like custom celeb shirts at the time, and I wanted to give him one of our celeb gold coins and a T-shirt. So I waited till the end of the day, and I walked up and I went, "Oh, hi, Mr. Eastman. I don't know if you remember me." And he just went, "Bang, my sabre hangs on the wall. Your sabre hangs on the wall in my hallway next to my gladiator sword." And I'm like, "Yeah,
and he looks at it every day, didn't he?"
Yeah. He said he walks past it every day. So I thought that was lovely. And I took Dee up to meet him as well. Dee's a massive Turtles fan.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And gave him the shirt and the coin, so that was lovely.
You always take 2 sizes.
Oh, well, you see, with this one, we gave him a shirt last time, so we know what size he is. Yeah.
You didn't change?
No. Kevin's Kevin. He doesn't change too much.
Good.
He's lovely. So Kevin Eastman's the guy that created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a huge lineup for him.
Yeah. The Turtles cross generations, man.
Exactly.
Turtles were part of the reason I started doing martial arts as soon as I started. And,
that's right. And we saw Jamie Johnson there.
Jamie Johnson,
has done the turtle art.
Yeah, he's been doing cover art for the last Ronin series, which is when all the turtles are dead except Mikey.
Right.
Saw him. Who else? Did you eyeball anyone else?
No, I mean, there's a lot of artists in that row. Mike, I think his name is Mike Rowe. There's another artist there that
the dude, the square jaw and the beard.
Pretty incredible stuff from him.
Yeah, I can't remember. I met him in Melbourne. He was sitting next to Mark in Melbourne. I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I would have liked to have lined up for an autograph with Tem, but that was also a huge.
Oh, dude, he was only there for.
I'm not really in that sort of frame. Like, I get it for the younger kids. That was the thing that I was sort of sad about. My kids are all busy now; they're teenagers. But it would have been great to take them along, and at the end of the day, we weren't set up for that. It was not to be this time. But next time.
Oh, Tam will be back. I went out and had dinner with Mark afterwards, and I saw Tam in the hotel, and just got to go up to him because I haven't had a chance to actually talk to him since we did the presentation in Gold Coast, and I just rocked up to him and I was like, I just wanted to say thank you. You gave me a great honour. It was just a 30-second conversation.
Yeah.
And I went, man, was it a big weekend? You look tired. And he said, I've just spent the last 5 months in a loincloth with Jason Momoa over in New Zealand, and it's cold.
That would be brutal.
Yeah. So, and what else? What else about the con? Give me your impressions.
I was pretty impressed with the number of people. It was much bigger than I expected.
Yeah, and that's actually, it was smaller. Like, I've been to some of them. Like, I think they would have done probably 30, 35,000 people. I've been to that when there's been 60,000 there. That's
was Sunday bigger than Saturday?
It's actually interesting. I don't know. I was talking to one of the organisers. They've opened up another section, so we don't know if it was quieter or just because there's more room to spread people over.
Yeah.
Well,
it was well organised in that sense. There wasn't. It wasn't terrible in the. You were kind of shoulder to shoulder in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah.
It was well organised in that sense. It didn't feel like you were like claustrophobic or that there was an impending doom of people around. So that was good, and it was really good. Like, the atmosphere was really great. They had a lot of
there's a lot of stuff to do.
They had
VR there and LARP and
I did want to jump on the VR, but
it was a driving game too. It was a Bathurst game.
That was the one I wanted to have a play at. But these days it's kind of like you get to a certain age where you think, I wish I could get the kids on there.
No, but you see, you're using the kids as an excuse to go and do it. You just go and do it, dude. You've just got to be an eternal child.
Of course. But it was very interesting how well it was organised. It was really well
done. They've been doing it for this is their 20th anniversary this year. So they've been doing it for a while.
And it's obviously grown every year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, obviously COVID was a bit of a shakedown.
Yeah.
But like as I said, my first one was 2004, and it was at Pier 6 in Sydney, and they had a couple of celebs and lots of guys with comic long boxes and collectibles and stuff. But it's absolutely like it's nerds mainstream now.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's a different...
Very mainstream.
Yeah, like we were talking about it a couple of podcasts ago about being a nerd, like everyone's a nerd. Like, there was a lot of... I had 3 or 4, or not actually more, probably 5 of my ex-school students bomb up, and they were guys that were always too cool because I taught the rough kids.
Yes.
And they were the ones that were too cool to be nerds.
That's a good point you make, is in terms of kids that would have appeared to be the...
exact opposite of what you'd expect.
Yes, there was quite a few.
Yeah.
And that was an observation that I didn't seek to discover, but I saw it. I could see that, and people were really comfortable. Yeah.
Like a couple of them did lessons. One of the teachers I used to work with at one of the schools came down and did a lesson with his kid too, which was cool.
And that was the other good thing about the con, was to see that presentation that you had done and the lessons. We watched some of that. It was really cool.
Yep. We did a show.
Yep.
We did it, like, it's on our Facebook. We live stream at least one of the shows each day.
Yep.
That was actually a really good show. That was because the funny thing with us doing shows is because I'm a DJ. I'm not a big believer in planning because every plan is perfect right up until it meets the enemy. So our shows tend to be a bit sort of free range, and that's because it depends on crowds. Like, sometimes, I've said this before, sometimes you have crowds that want more of the education side. Sometimes you have crowds that want more of the flashy bangy side. Sunday's crowd had a lot of kids, so we did more of the fights and the flashy stuff. That was cool, and you came and sat in my panel that I did with Michael
that was
Matty
a good
D.
panel.
Yeah, it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We missed a couple of minutes because we were talking to Mark. And he's great to talk to, so it was hard to sort of break away.
He was very happy with his bag.
Yes.
Very happy.
Very well done on account of that.
Yeah, I made Mark a leather and canvas art bag, and it's been the monkey on my back for a year because if you've ever seen Mark's artwork, he's a man of great detail.
Yes.
And I respect the man enough
It's
not to give him
he commissioned you with a
make
plan.
Oh, yeah, dude, I got a 3D CAD design picture with measurements. Like,
it makes sense now after chatting with him about
he's
his
a very
background.
precise, squared away man.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Mark Ratz, the Lucasfilm artist that does
right.
this stuff. He was pretty happy with that, so I'm stoked. I love and respect that man, as you can tell, because I talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to make him something because he did this for me as a gift a while ago. And I was talking to him the other day and just saying I've got 7 or 8 unfinished dioramas at home because I just get to the point where I just go, it's not Mark Ratz worthy, and it just goes into a box and disappears.
Well, I mean, you need to talk to him more because he's such an encouraging guy.
Oh, dude, he's an amazing human being.
I went over with that specific question, like, my wife's an artist, because I'd introduced her. She'd never met him, and I said, he remembered me.
Yeah, because you met him at our open
at the open day, and
March,
he remembered me, and he's such a nice guy. We had we were chatting, and I mentioned, that Eva was an artist.
Yeah,
and he gave us some advice.
Yep.
Brilliant advice.
Yeah.
That really resonated with me.
Yeah. And that advice was?
Make an appointment with yourself.
Absolutely.
And, I kind of have a little bit of that going on, but not the way that he pointed out. He said, if you're going to go to the movies, the time it starts. You get there on time so you don't miss the movie.
Yeah.
Same deal with making an appointment with yourself. If you're going to do some artwork, set it down and keep the appointment.
Because the problem is when you work your passion, it all blurs.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like where you justify it to yourself. Like leatherwork, man.
Yep.
I've just spent 3 weeks doing Mark's bag and coin pouches and leather wraps. And
you did well with those too.
Oh, yeah, they're cool, but like I don't want to see another piece of leather for a month, And I mean, like I really love leatherwork, but when a hobby becomes a job, it's gonna suck eventually.
Exactly.
No matter how much you love it. Like I thoroughly enjoy leatherwork, but like Mark's bag, I think it would have been close to 2 meters worth of stitching around the outside, all hand stitched.
That's
like
right.
I had,
it's a lot of time.
I've got a shiny callus on this finger here from just trying to, because it's pushing through leather. Sometimes 5-6 mil thick. And but yeah, like you do have to make that appointment with yourself. I like, as I was saying, now that I've got free time, I'm just getting a few more. I've got podcasts, like I'm just catching up. We've been doing podcasts, but we've been so busy I haven't had a chance to get it ready.
It's like anything. He was really inspiring because he's clearly a disciplined individual.
Oh, dude, he's a man of precision. Like, as I said, it's in his artwork. If you ever get the chance, just go in and type Mark Ratz art into Google. His artwork is a gazillion tiny little white lines to give shading, and it's like how can I explain it? It's actually terrifying how many little details he puts in. Like the reason I love his art is you tend to sink into it.
Yes.
Because you start off and look at the picture and that's cool, and then something will catch a glint in the eye, and then you zoom in on the eye, and then you see the detail on the eye.
There's so many layers and so many elements that you just don't notice at first glance, and then you keep finding more.
Absolutely.
And more.
I've got my ones. I've got 3 originals at home, and I've got them. I've got space to hang them all, but I haven't had time to hang them. So I've got a June one. I've got the one of me, and I've got a really sick Yoda one. And so what I'm doing at the moment, once every couple of months, I'm rotating it, and every day I will stop and have a look at it, and find something new, and then just go, oh, that's cool, and total off. Yeah.
And that was the point that he'd made. I asked him about time and the duration and things like that, and he pointed out like some of the pieces are elements that take much more time than others. And he had some other opinions about doing the work and stuff, and there's a lot to what goes into those things.
The advice he gives is always very considered and very wise. Very considered and very wise.
Very encouraging too.
I had a mate that so Mark's South African. He's got a diplomatic immunity. He's very South African, very Afrikaans. And I had a mate a few years ago that wanted to be a tops artist, and he said, he was with me over at Celebration when Mark was there, and he goes, do you think Mark would mind if he had a look at my portfolio? And I was like, oh, look, I'm sure he will, but I'm just giving you a heads up. You need to be prepared because Mark will tell you exactly
what he thinks.
Whether, like, this is good, this is bad, this is crap, and it's really valuable information, but you have to curb your ego enough to be able to hear it. You know what I mean? Right. So... yeah,
that's exactly right. So and that was really interesting and really fun. There was a lot to it, and I'll always sort of cherish the idea that he takes that time.
Yeah,
he had quite a few people. We stood for a while. To have a chat, and I didn't want to interrupt anyone that was there to, take his time.
Yeah.
So, but he's a very, very generous person. Very, open.
A lovely human being.
Yeah. So, and then of course, like I say, I knew that your panel was coming, and we sort of made our way up, and that was very cool.
Yeah,
got in there a couple of minutes in.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I missed at the beginning.
Oh, not much. Just introductions.
Just introduction.
Yeah.
It was very cool. It was good to see Matt. He was very relaxed.
Yeah.
Presented a lot of background
information.
Yeah, a lot of background on
He's a talker.
Yeah.
He's a talk. Like Matty, if you get a chance to see us, because I do a panel with him at all the cons. I used to do ones on the Suns, but now Matty and I just sit around and have chats about stuff.
Yeah.
He's a very cool dude. Matty's a lovely, lovely human.
Yeah, he was very nice when I was there too. When we first came up, he introduced me, and that he's a great guy.
Yeah. And so, what did you think about the Suns at the con?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, your whole position and
in what respect?
Like the position that you had in the
right,
dome.
as in physical position. Yeah, nice and big.
Very big area. Very spaced out well. Good, great presentation. And it was great the way that you had Matt and Michael there with you.
Yeah.
It was. I guess you stood out in a sense for that too, because over that side they had like
gaming stuff.
They had the gaming stuff, and so you kind of had the celebrities there. It was a great setup. Great look. And I didn't know that you were going to have that big space.
Yeah, well, I mean, we sort of never really know ourselves. It's changed a bit now that we've got, because we normally only used to have 2 tables, but now that we've got Matty with us and we had Michael there, there's extra tables for the celebs. So, but and what was it like rolling around the con with me?
Oh yeah, everybody knows Luke, and when the funniest part was when we came up. Going back to the
Dan
Sun
O'Malley.
stand, and Dan, one of the authors, he's up on stage doing a panel. Yeah. And he interrupts his own panel.
I was just walked past.
No, he was saying hello to you.
Yeah, I just gave him a little wave, and he gave me a wave back, and the chick was going, does anyone on the panel have something to say?
Yeah.
And Dan waved at me, and then she was like, yes, Dan. And he's like, oh, no, I'm just waving at a friend. But, like, Dan I've known for quite a while. He's lovely. Yeah. He's written this really amazing book series, The Rook, Stiletto, and the third one's called Blitz. Really amazing. Yeah, dude, it's the BPRD from Hellboy, like the paranormal research type stuff.
Yep.
It's like that, but it's in England, and it's got this really beautiful, quirky sense of humour. If you ever meet Daniel, he's just another beautiful human being.
Right. He's from ACT, did you say?
Yeah. So it's funny how I got to know him. I read his books first. So the best way to explain the book starts off. A woman wakes up in a park, it's raining, she has rubber gloves on, and she's surrounded by dead bodies. And she stands up, sticks her hand in her pocket, and there's an envelope. And she opens it, and the first line is, you're standing in a park, and it's raining with gloves on, and it's her trying to work out how she ended up there. Really.
Is it steampunk?
No. First, I guess it's been out long enough, I can talk about it. The first 2 are modern, and the second one's split between modern and the Blitz in World War II.
Yep.
So he's really a really amazing author. He's, again, go and see stuff.
Yep.
They made a TV series of The Rook with, oh my God, what's that name? Olivia Munn.
Yeah, right.
The chick that played.
Made here or in England?
Made in the UK. It had Jolie Richardson and stuff in it, but they'd stripped out Daniel's soul to tell the story, so it wasn't the same. It's cool. It was actually produced by Stephanie Meyer, the chick that did the Twilight series.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So that's fun, and yeah, like it's sort of funny just because everyone knows us because we do so many, and it's hard to miss a 6'6" dude, fat dude covered in tattoos with a lightsaber walking stick.
That's right.
You know, so it was, yeah, it's pretty trippy. Everyone knows the Suns.
Well, how did you go for the con? Like you had, you know, a big position, you had a big place, you do the panel, you've got some notoriety there, but obviously the Suns get there and
so it was we didn't sell many sabers, so basically we sell at the cons to keep stuff cheap at home, right? We sold 4 sabers and a gaffy stick, which is like a third of what we sold last year. It's like absolutely cost of living.
Yeah, it is, and this is a somewhat New South Wales centric issue.
Oh, it's everywhere, but New South Wales is the worst because everyone here has $1.5 and $2 million mortgages compared to somewhere like that
Melbourne. Are all getting reset at the moment.
That's exactly right, but we had like heaps of interest. Like we sold a lot of stickers, patches, coins, coin pouches.
You did sell some coin pouches, and they were great.
Yeah, sold 8 of them, so that's pretty cool. At least I know I'm on the right track. Like that's almost half my stock of them, so that's right.
They were lovely.
Yeah. Had lots of people doing lessons, lots of interest, but I wasn't expecting big things at this con because of cost of living.
That's right.
I was. It's not like.
Oh well, even my wife and I, we're a little conservative at the moment ourselves.
Oh, you have to be.
It's a shame because I'm always wanting to spend money.
I mean, like it's because it's the double whammy. Because not only is it the mortgage, it's actually a triple whammy. Mm-hmm. Then cost of living, then being a small business, and small businesses pay for rate rises, you know.
Right. No, I got stung with a $5 increase on my mobile contract.
Really?
And I was like, what?
It's a contract. You've signed it. It shouldn't change.
But they said, and she was ready. She said, go and look at the terms. It says we can change the price. Well, I said, well, you can change it back.
Yeah.
And I made her change it back.
Yeah.
So she credited me the last 2 where they charged me the 5, and she took it off for the rest of the
But the scary thing is, but we're at the point where we're worrying about $5.
$5.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's enough when you're already spending $110 a month.
Yeah.
Like for an expensive phone. I mean, that's the obvious problem these days.
Yeah. So, but like this was a bit different for me. I wanted to just sit. The thing is, when I do cons, I'm too busy doing cons, and I don't sort of notice everything that happens till I get home and sit on the balcony and have a cigarette and go, oh my God, this happened. Oh my God. So I thought I'm just going to, when we were talking about being nerds, talking about what I wanted to watch 48-year-old me as 20-year-old me. Yeah. Does that make sense?
That's
like
right.
just to see where we've come, because this year was our 8th birthday. We launched 8 years ago last weekend at Sydney Supanova, and it was cool, man. Like like it was. So like it's going to sound really arrogant, but what I love is people come and visit me.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
They
and
know
like
you.
that's cool, and it's not like they're coming to visit me to doff the hat, but it's just. I'm someone worthy of saying hello to.
That's right.
Which is cool. Like, and like walking down Vultures Row, I knew Stephen Hunter. Stephen Hunter's coming to do the podcast in a couple of weeks. Bombor from The Hobbit.
Yep.
So that'll be fun. Lincoln.
He's not a local. He's
Sydney.
A Sydney local.
Sydney boy.
That's right.
Sydney boy.
But he's not a coastal local,
beaches.
but he said he was going to be up here.
He was up here. He's going to be up here for a film awards thing at Edelong, which is about half an hour from here.
That's right.
So that's going to be a Friday morning, though.
That'll be fun.
I forgot to tell you that.
Yeah, that's
fine. Like I knew a lot of the celebs there. I knew a lot of the artists, and it was just really cool rolling around, just nodding what up. God bless Jamie Johnson. He did our RAF shirt. He's done He's wanted to give us a gift and has done a Donatello shirt for us, which I was like, oh, bless your cotton socks.
Yeah, because you eventually he'll do you the full series.
I want all the turtles. Absolutely. I want a Splinter.
Yes.
And maybe a Shredder. I guess we've got to start doing Darkseid at some point.
Of course. We've already done one.
Yeah, and like Dan was right opposite us, so I got to see Dan O'Malley all weekend. Went and saw Mr. John Jarrett. We're doing a con with him next month.
I saw John there. I didn't obviously introduce myself or anything, but I was hoping that maybe you might drag me over later, but he seemed pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, John's, he's just, oh man, sorry, my back's trashed.
Same here.
Yeah, I know.
What's
it's
happened?
It's work, my
We're
friend.
getting zapped.
Yeah, I know. John's been a staple at Nova's for years.
Yeah.
He's been there as long, like for as many years almost as I've been going. And he's just everyone, part of your con experience is to pop by and say hi to John. You know, John just sits there on his throne and people come and talk to him and he curses them out and says Uncle Mick words. And but yeah, no, lovely dude. So yeah, we saw John and saw Mark and saw Mike and saw Jamie Johnson. And I got to, when I was at the bar after the con, I saw Alyssa Milano, so I'm happy I ticked that box. I didn't get much. I spent a lot of time at the booth, so I didn't get much of a chance to bomb around. So
Right.
Yeah, so it was.
I didn't notice the lineup for her, but I did notice it for Tem.
It's because the lineup for her was behind Tem, so
That's
it all
what I
looked like
thought.
Tem.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
It's the first time she's ever been to Australia.
Yes.
All the other Charm girls. We met Shannon Doherty in 2016. She's been out here a couple of times. The other chick, I can never remember, Holly Marie Combs.
Right.
And also the other one, chick that used to date Marilyn Manson, actress. I can't think of her name.
Never a Charmed fan.
Yeah. But
I was a fan of Who's the Boss.
Yeah, but she's been out as well. So she was big just because out of all the girls, she's the only one who'd never been out here.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just and we did we had Sunrise. Channel
That's
7.
right. Now tell us about that. That was in the morning, wasn't it?
So the event manager comes beetling up, like as we're loading.
Is this before people had arrived?
Well before people had
before,
arrived.
right.
The event manager came beetling up to us and was like, "We've got Channel 7 coming on Sunday. Can you come in early?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, no stress." And like, "How early?" And he's like, 6:30. And I'm like, "Oh, mate, you're lucky I love you. Yeah, no stress." And I'd actually been on 7 Sunrise quite a few years ago, and they were just doing a live cross for Supanova, and Monique, who's the female host on there, was a female host when I was on there last time, and she'd brought her son up to do lessons. So it was really lovely because they're doing the cross and they're like, "Okay, we're here at Supanova, yada yada yada, and this is Luke. What do you do?" And I went, "Yeah," and all of a sudden you hear him go, "Yeah," and then he just stops talking. And Monique went on a blast about us. "Oh, the sons are wonderful. Luke's great. Everyone needs to go. They're doing great work," which is lovely.
Have you got a recording of that yet?
I'll show you. I've got a
we should play with this.
I've got a very, very dodgy recorded by phone off a TV one. But yeah, it was lovely. I'll see if I can get it. I'll see if I can dig around and get a copy of it. So that was cool. You know, like just did a bit of press. We always do a bit of press there. Yeah. So yeah, it was really nice. Like, as I said, it would have been heaps better to sell more, but life, you know,
life's getting in the way.
I made enough money to put out a couple of forest fires. You know what I'm saying? You know, so. But yeah, no, it was a lovely con.
I'll definitely be going regularly.
Yeah, they're good fun. Yeah. They're really good fun.
And hopefully I'll be more cashed up next time.
Tell me the 3 things you wanted to buy.
There were some comics that I spotted.
Like?
A couple of Aliens comics.
What, like sealed, boxed and boarded, or ones you wanted to buy and read?
Yeah, ones I just wanted to buy and read.
Yeah, right, yeah.
There's a couple of pieces of art.
Did you see there's a new Aliens movie coming out?
That's right.
Yeah, that's coming out next year, I think. Alien, can't think of the name of it, Alien something.
Yeah.
Alien : something.
Yeah. There's a TV series too.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
right.
There's lots of stuff happening. They got criticised because they went straight to streaming with the Predator.
Did you watch that movie?
I liked that movie.
I loved that movie.
But it went straight to streaming, so they got criticised, and so now they want to sort of not make that same mistake
again. Yeah, I know, but that was
I don't think that's a big issue. I mean, it is a shame that people don't go to the movies.
It would be awesome if they released it. I'd go and watch it if they released it in cinemas. If they did a limited run, I would. Because I
think that'll happen.
That's probably my 2 favourite Predator movies are Predators, the one with all of the killers on the planet that's got Adrian Brody and...
That was a cool movie.
You know, Machete, what's his name? Danny Trejo's
in
it.
Trejo,
yeah. And Hiroyuki, is it Hiroyuki Sakata, who's He's the bad, naughty samurai in Last Samurai. And he's John Wick 4. Did you see John Wick 4?
I haven't seen it yet.
He runs the Japanese Continental.
I was planning to go and see that in Gold Class. But
dude, it was so good. So good. It's actually probably one of my favourite of the 4.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Predator, the American Indian one, and that one are my 2 favourite.
Prey, it was called.
Prey, yeah, that's it.
That's
yeah,
all.
so yeah, Prey and Predators are my 2 faves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the female protagonist.
Yeah.
Angle.
Yeah,
it's great. It's good to see.
James Cameron's the king of that, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so you saw some stickers and stuff, or like anime?
Yeah, there's plenty of good anime stickers. It was good too from a manufacturer's perspective to see what people are doing. Like obviously, some of what people do are sort of addressed for internal use. You know, like they're just for the laptop, etc. But for me, like, because I do bumper stickers, I do a lot of outdoor
external stickers. Yeah,
a lot of more high durability, like vinyl and stuff. So it's kind of cool to see the sort of different
what the market
approaches.
is.
Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, there's shirts. There was a bunch of different shirt makers and sellers.
Did you see the Kamui Designs one that did all the Japanese stuff, like Japanese wolves and stuff?
No. I would have seen it.
Their stuff's amazing. Yeah, D wears a lot of his stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there were some really cool shirts. A bunch of different things surrounding that. There was one stall there that did a lot of really cool JDM stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool. So yeah, it was good fun. It's a shame, like I say, it's we're under the same limits.
Yeah.
Thanks to
I saw Pop Culture had a couple of things. One they had was this dude. Like I don't buy stuff anymore just because like when I first started the business, I was buying like crazy to fill up the temple. So,
yes.
Yeah, and the temple's full now. There's not much.
Yeah.
And also most of the stuff I want for the temple now I'm going to make.
That's right.
So like I'm starting Barry this week.
Yeah.
So to go with Jeff, I'm building a Babu Frick. I decided I'm going to give him an eye patch as well. I'm going to make him look really rugged. Yeah, and a little womb broom.
Yeah, okay.
A little goatee and stuff.
This is Barry.
This is Barry. That'll go with Jeff, so they'll be like Jay and Silent Bob. Yeah. But I saw they had this Jabba the Hutt on his throne, and it was 2 foot long, foot wide, massive. You could change the eyes out. You could put it in so his tongue's sticking out. It was just,
nice.
I don't need it, but
what
I was
was it,
like,
silicon?
No. It's a full like statue, like full colour statue. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And they had a really phenomenal Tusken Raider one that that was like $250, but my girlfriend was there, so it wasn't happening.
I know that's the thing. Like, there's so many attractive items, but I didn't give in.
Yeah.
And plus, I had my wife with me. So.
Yeah. Makes it all a little harder. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm not the sort to hide stuff from my girlfriend, but
no.
Man, it would look rad at the temple.
Yeah,
it's a business expense.
Yeah.
What was the feeling you were left with? Like, as a nerd being amongst your people, how did it feel?
It was very. It was definitely a safe, like you were saying before. It's a safe environment. It's a cool environment. There are obviously, there's a lot of passion.
Yes.
For things that are kind of controversial, in terms of like weaponry.
Yeah, but
cosplay and all that. But that doesn't.
There's no real. Oh, no. Damn! They had a training butterfly knife. I was going to buy one and I forgot because I used to have one ages ago. I thought that'd be cool. Like I am a weapons instructor.
That's
I remember how to do
that.
But
overall, that's the best part of it is that you don't ever feel any threat. Everybody's so relaxed.
All the weapons are all like they're not live weapons, and also they're in sealed boxes and cannot be taken out. Like they, it's a. But how about the feel of the place?
Yeah, no, the vibe was great. I mean, I could probably pick up on everybody being a little bit conservative as well. I could sort of see everything looked busy. Like all the sellers looked like they were busy, but I could tell that, things were kind of a little limited because it wasn't like everybody was walking around with bags and bags.
It's funny you say that. That's how I judge a con. That's how you know how much money is around is what people are carrying around. Like, there were a lot of people carrying around stuff from Pop Culture because they had a really big sale. Like, that Jabba the Hutt I was talking about. I know the guy that runs Pop Culture, and I was talking to him, and I just went, that's rad. And I went, how much is it? And he goes, $1,000. And I'm like,
Wow.
get out. That 3 years ago would have been 2.5, 3 grand. And he goes, no, they've come down in price and stuff, and obviously they're feeling it as well, so they're shifting some stuff.
Absolutely.
But it was just people walking around with a bag with some art in it. It wasn't people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also changed. Like when I started going, it was just as eBay was starting and the internet sales wasn't a thing. So those cons, it was the only place you could get nerdy stuff.
Yes.
You know, like when I collected stuff for me, I like to get stuff I can use. Like I got a bad MF wallet from Pulp Fiction, and you know, I used to, because I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan, and so I'd buy things like wallets, and I got a couple of the swords from Kill Bill and that sort of stuff. But it's interesting. It's sort of changed because everything's available. Probably the biggest change I've noticed is art's always been a big thing there, but the rise of people making things.
That's
like
right.
A lot of people
crafting.
picked up hobbies in COVID.
That's right.
And so the different areas, you've got your main floor, which is where all your retailers are. And then they have a thing called Artist Alley, which at this place, probably 2/3 of the con was Artist Alley. Like it was easy. A massive Artist Alley. But that used to be just art. But lots of people making crocheted stuff and key rings and
and not just posters. They were giving away like the ability to get it on a shirt or on something on a print. It was really cool to see that movement towards
3D printers, like Chris, the guy that did the 3D printed Jeff,
he
and
was
does
very
all those
busy.
sleds and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, there was a rad dude that did weird taxidermy down in Melbourne, and he had like a taxidermied mouse on a stripper pole and like all these really sort of but just really interesting, quirky.
That's right.
Like there was a lot of so it's called created collectibles. That's the category. We were one of the original created collectibles because we were one of the first guys making handcrafted stuff. But that's the one thing. Just lots of bags and just beautifully handmade things, which I think's rad. You know, a lot of
that's right.
There was a lot of guys selling medieval stuff and clothing and a lot of cosplay stuff.
That's right.
You know, so it was it's really interesting. Like I can feel the show. That's the thing I've been talking about. I can feel the show changing, and it's not it's not like it's getting worse or anything. It's just I think that shift. The younger ones are coming in, and the younger ones aren't into the same stuff we were into.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. The only other thing was, does Supanova actually do a cosplay competition? Yeah, and I didn't get to see any of that. Was that a Saturday or a Sunday?
No, that's look. To be honest, I'm not really into cosplay. Like I enjoy seeing it, but it's not a thing. Like, you know, I've never dressed up as anything in my life. I've worn my Jedi robes a couple of times. But, you know, I love appreciating it. Like, if I see an awesome...
I could appreciate it. I gave a lot of Grogu Das decals out.
Yeah, nice.
To people that I really liked.
One of
Star Wars cosplay, obviously. That was relevant.
One of our students, Megan, who's in a wheelchair, won most creative costume. She did herself up as Bumblebee. So she had the wheels and the headlights and everything, which was really cool. But they have a massive cosplay event there. I think it's Sunday afternoon. I think it's Sunday afternoon. But you see, you didn't, because the celebs do panels as well. So, you know, where the celebs were, there was another big room that's the cosplay theatre.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like that's where all the big guys were that would do their panels, and then I did my panel on the Imagineer stage, which is one of the smaller ones, which is cool. It's a lot more intimate. I like them. There's just there's like you haven't. Maybe next time we get you to come down for 2 days, but go and get you to do all of the panels, and you know, we'll organise for you to meet a celeb and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, like one of the bigger Vultures Row people.
Yeah. That's all right. It was my first con, so I was kind of in awe of the whole thing. It was I was kind of a bit stunned.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it? It's all noise and flashing lights and movie characters walking all around you. And
I mean, when I was younger, I would just be like running around.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of now. I'm just taking stuff in like, whoa.
Yeah, because
different.
They can be quite overwhelming, you know, because there's a
Absolutely.
lot, and not in a bad way. That's
Not
just
in a bad way.
It's just an assault on the senses, like
Yeah.
where you're walking down an alleyway, and like one of the celeb wranglers brought Nicholas Hammond wanted to come and meet us, right? So Nicholas Hammond was the 1970s Spider-Man. And he was Hans, the oldest boy in The Sound of Music. Right. And Sound of Music is one of my favourite films of all time. I used to watch it every Christmas with my grandmother. I still watch it every Christmas. When I met my girl, I met her just before my 30th birthday, and her family bought me a copy of the soundtrack on vinyl. And I take it in my vinyl bag and have used it at gigs. I love it. So that was lovely just to meet him and just go, you know, thank you, sir. You gave me so many.
Yeah, I was there. I witnessed that.
Oh, yeah. You know, like that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the biggest problem is all of us are tired too, because this is sort of like that was our 8th con since the 10th of March.
That's right.
You know, and it doesn't seem like much, but when you're doing all the travelling in between and still teaching,
it's a big day.
and, you know, but you see, still like I was back at the temple at 9 o'clock the next morning after having a total of about 7 hours sleep over the weekend. You know, Friday night and Saturday night there were car crashes on the way home on the M1, and
really,
dude, we were caught for an hour on Saturday night.
Oh, that's a shame.
And then Sunday I went out and had dinner, so I didn't get home till like 1 in the morning. And I'm an old man, I can't do that.
It's
anymore.
harsh.
It's hard, you know. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it, you know.
Well, I knew you would be buggered. That's why I brought you down a V when we came.
Yeah, bless your cotton socks. That was V number 4 for the day. I was smashed. Like, you know, as I said, like just being there 3 hours earlier, that suddenly turned that for me by the time I got home into a 19-hour day.
Yeah, because it finished around.
It's 10 to 6. Yeah.
Right.
So we got out of there about 6:30 because we've got pack up down to a fine art. And then we rolled. So yeah, it was cool, man.
Yeah, and I got to thank you. And
pleasure.
Eva's very happy too, and she wanted to thank you as well. So
yeah, sweet.
We really enjoyed it, and will definitely be a return.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you'll have to come and do Central Coast Comic Con.
Yeah, absolutely. We were going to come to that.
Yeah,
but you know we've been busy, and things are still kind of heating up.
Yeah,
for us as well. So we'll make sure that we plot it out as the time comes.
Yeah,
for the
for
next
sure.
ones. Yeah.
But yeah, so like, you know, cons are a huge part of our business. As I said, like we tour all over doing them, and like I've got to admit, like I love Manovas, but I really enjoy doing the regionals. Like a lot of our cons are regional cons, and they're just so much fun because we're bringing a little bit of us to them. You know, like the main reason I love country cons is it's the one day the locals can let their freak flags fly.
Yeah.
You know, that like you can be a nerd in a little country town, and if the one day you get dressed up and come out, everyone's like, oh, look at Bob, he's getting into it, and they don't understand you got another 6 costumes in the closet at home, you know. And just like, you know, kids don't get to see that stuff out in the country, so, you know, I love it. It's I was talking to a mate of mine about DJing, and I said I was a house missionary for years because I was out in the country preaching, you know, preaching the gospel of 4 on the floor and gospel voices. And now we've become like a nerd missionary where we go out into the country and, you know, give people their first taste so they will come down and do one of the big ones like Supanova and get to see what it's really like.
That's right.
Yeah. Any last comments?
Again, thanks.
Pleasure.
We had a ball, and it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
So we were very blessed on account of that, and you know, I feel like we filled it up just right.
Yeah.
So I was happy with. I mean, again, I would have loved to have met Tamira Morrison.
Yeah, but I couldn't have even organised because he's only there for one day.
Oh yeah, and the lines are incredible.
Like as I said, when I saw him that night, he was wrecked. Like because Tim gives a lot of time, he'll always chat to people and you know, all his photos are awesome. A kid came and bought a gaffy stick off us and got him to sign it. And
that's so
in the
cool.
photo, he's doing the whole haka like, you know, like he's a lovely dude.
Yeah.
Really loves the fans. Like really loves. That's the cool thing about cons is meeting those celebs that love meeting their fans. You know, it's really it's cool, man. It's sharing the passion.
Yeah. No, thanks again, Lou.
Pleasure, mate. All right, well that's a nice little quick one. We'll wrap it up there.
Wrap it up, eh?
What are we going to do next?
Well, the next one is not till next Friday for...
Oh, so the next one will be Mr. Hunter.
Well, possibly. We could still get one in before then.
Nah, we'll make Hunter next.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm going to have a chat to a mate of mine.
Yeah, that'll give you a chance to get everything together.
Yeah, I'm pretty skull fornicated. Yeah. Like, I'm tired. I need, I'm not I'm even having difficulty coming up with ideas at the moment. I've got heaps of ideas, but they're just all
and it's
buried
execution.
in the sludge at the back of my brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, brother. Much love.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. See yous.